16th of December 2023. Welcome to Somalia's premier #1 station for news and updates, Dalsan TV. I'm your presenter, Abdurrahman Yusuf. Tonight, we have quite a full bulletin prepared for you, but kindly have a look at some of our top stories. Somali military courts hand 2 ISIS militants 8 years in prison. Somali National Disaster Agency bolsters relief efforts for flood victims at grassroots levels. Minister of Planning convenes annual review meeting of UNICEF-supported programs in Somalia. ATMIS concludes medical sensitization and screening program for police officers in Southwest State. Glad to have you back. Now let's delve into our full bulletin. The Somali Federal Government Ministry of Planning, Investment and Economic Development has on Wednesday convened an annual review of the UNICEF-supported programs on Wednesday. The Director General of the Ministry of Mohamed Shire presided over the meeting, which took place in the capital, Mogadishu.
Somalia Federal Government Ministry of Planning, Investment and Economic Development has on Wednesday convened annual review of UNICEF-supported programs. The Director General of the Ministry, Mohamed Shire, presided over the meeting, which took place in the capital, Mogadishu. They discussed majorly focused on assessing and evaluating the progress and achievements of the programs undertaken by UNICEF in the country, in a bid to ensure that they meet the desired objectives aligned with the National Development Plan. Officials drawn from various ministries were present in the meeting. The need to bolster cooperation between the different ministries and the UN Body for Children, that has been critical partner of the Somali government for years, was spotlighted in the meeting. UNICEF officials present at the meeting underscored the commitment by the organization to contribute to nation building and support the government in the ongoing relief efforts to help families ravaged by El Nino-induced floods across the country.
The Africa Union Transition Mission in Somalia has on Friday wrapped up a 3-day medical sensitization and screening program for 110 officers drawn from the Somali police force and their families in the Southwest State. Rather, this is according to the ATMIS program, was aimed at improving and enhancing the well-being of the Somali police officers and their families.
The African Union Transition Mission in Somalia, ATMIS, has on Friday wrapped up a 3-day medical sensitization and screening program for over 110 officers drawn from the Somali police force and their families in Southwest State. According to ATMIS, the program was aimed at improving and enhancing the well-being of Somali police officers and their families. The African Union Peace Mission medical personnel from the Reforms, Restructuring and Development Department facilitated the program, which was supported by the Ghana-formed police unit contingent. The beneficiaries received essential medicines, among them antimalarials, antibiotics, vitamin supplements, and anti-inflammatory drugs during the initiative. ATMIS has over the years continued to support the Somali police in different areas to enhance their capabilities and knowledge on handling and summoning terror-induced challenges in the Horn of African nation. The peace mission, whose mandate is set to lapse in 2024 December, had in the beginning of the year trained Somali police force personnel on crime-related evidence gathering.
2 ISIS militants were sentenced to 8 years in prison by the Somali military court for their involvement in terror activities in Mogadishu on Saturday. It was announced by the chairperson of the court, Hassan Ali Nur Shote, that the former Al-Shabaab militants Ahmed Ali Diriye and Abdiqani Adan Ali were now associated with ISIS. Was sentenced to 8 years in prison by a Somali military court for their involvement in terror attacks in Mogadishu on Saturday. It was announced by the chairperson of the court, Hassan Ali Nur Shote, that former Al-Shabaab militants Ahmed Ali Diriye and Abdiqani Adan Ali were now associates with ISIS. The security forces captured Abdiqani on October 16th of this year while he was carrying 2 F-1 bombs in his bag, which he intended to give Abdi Ahmed Ali Diriye at Al-Nur Mosque in Dabkayo Meadow in Darkanli village. In addition to explosive materials found in Abdiqani's house, ISIS has claimed responsibility for several attacks in Somalia, including those in the mountainous Bari region. The US levied sanctions against terrorists and Daesh in Somalia towards the end of last year, alleging that they were part of a terrorist weapons trafficking network in Eastern Africa. ISIS in Somalia was added to the US State Department list of specifically designated global terrorists in 2018. Somalia Disaster Management Agency Commissioner Mohammed Maalim Abdullah held a meeting on Saturday with the State Government and Humanitarian Affairs Disaster Management Ministries from Jubaland, Galmudug and Southwest State. The special meeting at the agency's headquarters in the capital Mogadishu primarily focused on bolstering relief efforts for the flood-affected residents in the country. Somalia Disaster Management Agency Commissioner Mohammed Maalim Abdullah held a meeting on Saturday with state government ministries of humanitarian affairs and disaster management ministries from Jubaland, Galmudug and the Southwest. The special meeting at the agency's headquarters in the capital Mogadishu primarily focused on bolstering relief efforts for families severely impacted by El Nino-induced floods, which have devastated homes and disrupted livelihoods. The joint rescue of the Somali people marooned by the raging floods across the regional states was also highlighted in the meeting. The ministers expressed gratitude to the Somali National Disaster Agency for its swift and prompt response to help the communities residing in flood-hit areas across the country. They affirmed the need for hastening and enhancing humanitarian assistance to families affected by flooding in a bid to avert further crises to vulnerable population recovering from vagaries of drought and famine. The Commissioner on his part reiterated the agency's commitment to heightening and reinforcing relief aid to the Somali people. The meeting comes days after the agency dispatched trucks loaded with assorted relief food for Jalalaksi district in the Middle Shabelle region, and most recently, 2 boats carrying essential relief supplies to Puntland and Jubaland states that have been adversely affected by the floods. Lovely viewers, that's the bulletin and edition we've prepared for you tonight from our desk here in Mogadishu. I wish to thank my team that made this news bulletin a success, starting from our able camera person, Abdurazak, to our editor, Alpha, and the whole team. Wherever you're watching us from, your lovely viewers, stay blessed and stay put for more stories in our subsequent